If you're thinking about moving to Sacramento, California and buying a home and Roseville is on your list, this video is for you.
All right, so whether you're comparing it to Rocklin, Folsom, or Elk Grove, or you just want to know if it actually lives up to the reputation, then we're going to give you the actual picture of what life in Roseville looks like.
All right, now we just got off of a Zoom call with a family that was moving here from Colorado. They found us on YouTube just like you guys. They had done their research, they knew the suburbs, and they kept coming back to Roseville. They were exploring between Folsom and Elk Grove, and Roseville just kept coming up. And the first thing they asked us was, is Roseville actually worth it? Or is it just the Galleria and a bunch of like subdivisions and a bunch of homes?
And that's the question that comes up way more than you'd ever think, because Roseville has a reputation and the reputation here is real, but it doesn't tell the whole story. There's a version of Roseville that most people moving here never see coming.
Now, by the end of that call, they weren't just asking if Roseville was worth it anymore, they were asking which part of Roseville they should be in. That's the type of shift that we always try to talk about on the one-on-one strategy session. We always try to get you to figure out not just the city, not just the area, but sometimes getting down to the granular, sometimes the exact neighborhood that you guys can see yourself in.
So if that's you and you want help having that same conversation, that's literally what we do every single day. You can call us, text us, reach out to us anytime. Our information is going to be down in the description below.
All right, but first stay with us through this video because we're going to be saving one thing for the very end that makes Roseville extremely different from every other suburb that you're going to see. And we're actually standing there. We'll take you there a little bit later in this video, but most people don't figure it out until they've already been here a few years, and you're going to figure that out today.
Now, Roseville has grown into one of the most talked about cities in the entire Sacramento region, and the reputation is definitely earned. We actually live here and we love it. But one thing to note is that it's also a little bit more nuanced than most people expect when they start researching. So we're gonna break it all down for you today. We're gonna break down where the city sits, what the different areas feel like, what the lifestyle looks like day to day, and what the honest trade-offs are from us who've actually lived in every single part of Roseville. We've lived in West Roseville, Central Roseville, and East Roseville, so we definitely know Roseville.
Now, if I had to sum up Roseville into one sentence, I would say it's the most complete city in the entire Sacramento region. It's not just another suburb where you drive in and you have to drive out for something else that you need. Roseville has about 165,000 residents right now. It's grown significantly over the last 10 years, and it has brought real infrastructure. We're talking major medical, top tier schools in the entire region, shopping that draws everybody in from all of Northern California, not just the Sacramento region, and some top tier restaurants.
Now, one of the things people notice when they first spend time here is how much stays local. The doctor's here, the grocery store's here, the restaurant that you'd normally drive forever for is right there. And that changes how your week feels. There's a convenience to Roseville that you don't fully appreciate until you're in it.
Now, Roseville is great for a multitude of different people, whether you're retiring, whether you're a younger family, whether you're remote workers, or whatever background. Now, a lot of people compare Roseville to Rocklin, Folsom, or Elk Grove, and all of them are great. We love all of them. We feature all of them on the channel. But Roseville consistently sits at the top two for a lot of people's lists for a lot of reasons, and it doesn't make you choose between convenience or lifestyle. You actually get both here. Now, real quick before we keep going, if this is your first time on our channel, we're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, where we make these videos for you guys about what it's really like living, moving, and relocating to the Sacramento and surrounding areas.
We help hundreds of people just like you buy and sell homes right here in the greater Sacramento metro, and we drop new videos every single week. So you have the real boots on the ground information to make the best decision possible.
On top of making these videos, we're also licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos and showcasing Sacramento and the beautiful areas around Sacramento, we actually love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is going to be popping up. We are the team that answers every phone call, email, or text message, or you can better yet, scan the QR code, book your one-on-one strategy session so we can help put together the best game plan for you that's right on making the move to the greater Sacramento metro. All right, now before the neighborhoods, the pricing, and the school all start to make sense, you have to understand the map of Roseville. So Roseville is going to sit about 20 to 25 minutes northeast of downtown Sacramento, and it's going to primarily be right off of the Interstate 80 freeway. So you're going to have a couple of different exits that you can get into Roseville. You're going to have the Riverside exit, the Douglas exit, and then up here you're going to have the Eureka exit. Now, Interstate 80 is going to run directly through the center, separating East Roseville from Central Roseville, and then you're also going to have Highway 65 that's going to run up north, which is going to give you quick access towards like Lincoln, Rocklin, or back down towards I-80 and into downtown Sacramento. Now, like I said, downtown Sacramento is going to be probably somewhere between the 25 to 35 minute mark if you are commuting like outside of work hours, and then it's probably going to be, I don't know, probably like 40 to 55 minutes if you're commuting between like the hours of like 6:30 and 8:30 or 9, and then also again between like 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon all the way till about 6 o'clock. Now, from Roseville down here to the right, you are also going to see Sacramento International Airport. That's going to be probably, again, somewhere between 25 and 35 minutes from parts of East Roseville and Central Roseville. The cool thing that I really loved about the fact that when we lived over here kind of in this Wood Creek Oaks area in West Roseville is you could make it to the airport in about 20 minutes, straight out here down Baseline all the way to Highway 99, and then dropping down Highway 99 to the airport. I know Lauren's mom, when she travels, she would call us when she gets to the tarmac. As soon as she lands, as soon as you're able to actually turn on your cell phone service, we would leave our house and we could beat her to baggage claim before she ever got there. Now, here's what catches a lot of people off guard. Roseville is not just one neighborhood. Heck, it's not even just one suburb. You've got 3, potentially 4 different sections coming into the Roseville area. So East Roseville is going to be everything that's going to be closer to Folsom Lake. So this is going to be a little bit more mature areas. Think of areas like Johnson Ranch, the Maidu neighborhood, you've got Stone Ridge up on the hill, and some of the parts of East Roseville actually do go to Granite Bay School District. So East Roseville definitely has a much more established feel. It has mature trees, it has older homes, it has streets and neighborhoods that feel lived in and settled in. So you're gonna be closer to a lot of amenities. The other thing that I really love about this section of East Roseville is you can go 25 minutes in every direction, and it's pretty much going to minimize your commute. You're going to be closer to some of the original anchor stores that are going to be over here off of Douglas. You're going to have pretty easy proximity to like the Galleria, the fountains, all the medical centers. You do have Sutter Hospital that's right there, and then you are having a Kaiser Hospital that's right there. Now, if we pivot to just the next section, Central Roseville is going to be pretty much everything right there and everything on the other side of 80. And then it's going to include some of the section over here that's going to be on the Rocklin side. Now, Central Roseville is going to be kind of the center of kind of your shopping and your dining and your restaurants. You've got the Galleria Mall, you've got the fountains, you've got farmers markets, and you've got tons of things to do, Top Golf, the water park, a lot of different things that are going to be kind of in that central section. Right about here, you're going to have kind of all of your older neighborhoods. It's going to be kind of down where we were at the beginning of this video, like the Vernon Street kind of town center area. And then you're gonna have some kind of newer homes that are gonna be up towards Highland Reserve. And that's gonna be kind of where your Top Golf is and some of the newer neighborhoods that are gonna be on the north side of Highway 65. Now, going all the way out west, so that same road that kind of splits Central Roseville and West Roseville is gonna be all about growth. Now, this is gonna be where a lot of your newer master plan communities are, your Winding Creeks, your Amarusa Ranches, your communities that are pushing west of really Fittyman. So I kind of joke around with some of you guys when we're on that strategy call. You know, we have kind of like the old West Roseville, which is going to be places like Blue Oaks, Sun City, Wood Creek Oaks. That's going to be around the Wood Creek High School. This little pocket right there, that's kind of like the old West Roseville. It was really popular in the early 2000s, but since then, everything that's going to be west of Fittyman, which is going to be this line, is going to be all of those newer communities. So brand new homes, newer parks, newer schools. You've got West Park High School. You've got that brand new 30-field soccer complex. And then you're also going to have kind of all of your retail services that are going to be catching up here, here, and then here. So you do have grocery stores that are catching up. You have like a little shopping center that's kind of right there that's going to have Mojo's Coffee and Kitchen 747 and Masa Masa Tacos. So a lot of stuff. And then everything that's going to be kind of down here at this section is going to be that Baseline marketplace that we talked about. So Target, Home Depot, brand new Costco, Raising Cane's, that whole corridor. Eventually everything kind of going out here towards that Highway 99, the way we go out to the airport. Like all of that stuff is just getting filled in. You got Heritage, where you got Placer Vineyards on one side, and then you've got kind of Sierra Vista on the other side. So that whole corridor is filling up fast. Now, this is where when we have those conversations with you guys, specifically from YouTube, and you guys are wanting new construction, we're primarily targeting kind of this section out here. Now, there is one other new section that's getting built out that's going to be kind of that Placer 1 section. That's also a completely new section that's going to be growing, and we'll talk about the growth a little bit later in this video. But when we started talking through, this particular family that was moving up here from the Bay Area, they wanted newer construction, they wanted good schools, and they kind of wanted that like built-in community. And that's the cool thing about these newer construction areas out there, the Winding Creeks, the Amaruso Ranches, the West Parks. They have a bunch of newer families, not just families, but they have a bunch of newer residents where everybody's from somewhere else, which is kind of cool. Whether you're in Sacramento or you're from a place outside of Sacramento, everybody's new to that particular area. So you guys kind of all have common ground. So when we started talking through where they actually needed to be during the week, the search did shift those. Now, the cool thing is for their commute, it actually kind of anchored them out into this West Roseville area a little bit better because of that whole baseline marketplace, that whole baseline road that takes you out to Highway 99. So definitely really cool, but the commute can definitely shift depending on if you're at the north part over by Placer One, you're on the south side over by Baseline, or heck, even if you're in kind of like that East Roseville or Central Roseville, it all makes a big deal depending on which freeway you have to take down if you have to go into Sacramento. So now that we've got the geography, now here's where Roseville starts to separate itself from every other suburb on most people's short list. So it's going to be the cost and what that cost actually gives you here compared to where most of you guys are coming from, Bay Area, Southern California, because those numbers are going to hit a lot differently than people expect. All right, now the cool thing about Roseville, or at least the thing I love about Roseville to share with you guys, is that when you're comparing a bunch of different areas like your Folsoms and your Elk Groves and your Rocklands, Granite Bays, El Dorado Hills, Sacramento proper, one of the things about Roseville that's kind of similar to a city like Elk Grove is you have a big diversity in housing options. You have luxury, you have entry level, you have retirement, you have new construction. A lot of it for Roseville, people end up in Roseville for a ton of different reasons, but one of them usually comes back to value, especially when you're coming from a different area. Now, Roseville isn't cheap. I'm going to be super upfront and honest about that. Yeah, you can find some homes in the low 500s, it's going to start really in that mid 500s to get like a decent 1,500 square foot house. Some of the other stuff may be older or might be a fixer, but going to start off kind of in that low 500, and it's going to go all the way up just under $2 million. Now, median home prices here in Roseville are going to be somewhere in that mid to upper 600 range. So certain pockets of East Roseville, newer communities in West Roseville, you might start even creeping into that like low 700s to mid 7 to like even low 800s and beyond. So now, if you're local, that's going to seem like a big shocker, but if you're coming from the Bay Area or compared to the Bay Area, people doing the math for the first time have almost the identical reaction. When we're doing these calls with you guys, a lot of times you guys just go quiet when we start kind of going over some of these pricing. And the biggest reason is because that same money gets you a condo in the San Jose area or East Bay. And here in Roseville, it's going to be like a 4-bedroom house with a 3-car garage, sometimes with a real yard and a neighborhood where kids can actually be outside. So the math definitely changes a lot when you're looking at some of these. So really everything that you see on the map is going to be, some of that like high 400s all the way up to the low 2 million, the high 1 million mark. But like we were talking about, entry level is typically going to start somewhere in that low to mid 500s, depending on what you're looking at. So some of the stuff up here in Placer One, you can find some, 1,200, 13, 1,400 square foot homes for high 4s, low 5s. A lot of that sweet spot is going to be somewhere in that 600 to 800K range is going to be that real sweet spot where you're going to find a lot of different options. You're going to start seeing some larger floor plans, newer communities, a lot of good schools primarily across Roseville, but neighborhoods that actually have amenities. A lot of these neighborhoods, Roseville did a really good job building them out with parks. Now, when you push past 800K in Roseville, that's going to be our upper tier. So again, a lot of options, but you have some range. You're going to have some entry level, some 55 and up. You're going to have some luxury if you want it. Master plan communities, newer construction, older homes out here in West Roseville that are close to Folsom Lake. So a lot of different options. Now, one thing worth noting before you fall in love with the price, West Roseville out here, like we've talked about plenty of times in our video, West Roseville does come with Melrose. Definitely going to change your monthly number, and it needs to be in your calculation before you compare something in West Roseville versus something in East Roseville. 2 homes, same price point. Melrose can definitely be a $250 to $350, maybe even $400. And then some of these communities will also have an HOA. So let's jump back out there.
All right, now if schools are a top priority for your family, then Roseville is worth a serious look. The City of Roseville School District and Dry Creek handled the elementary and middle schools out here. And then you've got Roseville Joint Union High School District that covers the high school side of things. Now, both of these school districts have strong reputations throughout all of the Placer County region. You've got Roseville High School, Granite Bay High School, Wood Creek, and Oak Ridge, which are the main high schools that most families are researching when they're considering a move to this area. Now, Granite Bay consistently ranks among one of the best public high schools in all of California, usually consistently rated a 9 or a 10, while the rest of the high schools in Roseville usually rank anywhere from an 8 to a 9 and a 10. Now, we always tell people to verify the exact school assignment for any specific address before making any decision, because lines can change street by street. There is some parts of Roseville that don't feed to any Roseville schools. They actually feed to a Sac County district. So if schools are important to you, you want to make sure you land in the right area. So don't assume just because a home is in Roseville that it's going to feed to the school you want. You're definitely going to want to check the address directly with the district, because district lines do change from year to year. But the broader picture here is strong. And for a lot of families we work with, especially those coming from either the Bay Area or Southern California, where the school situation is usually not the greatest, then Roseville is generally one of the top places on their list that they're considering because of how strong our schools are out here. Now, on top of these schools ranking really high, these schools also are known for a tradition of excellence. They're really good at promoting school spirit. They're really good with all of their sports activities, and a lot of these schools offer a lot of advanced placement classes. Now, one of the cool things about Roseville Joint Union High School District is that they offer not just AP classes or the advanced placement classes. Some of these high schools offer the IB diploma program. So if that's something that your kiddo's interested, especially if they want to go to an Ivy League, or maybe they want to get into a private college, those are going to be huge things that are going to help set your student apart. On top of the IB diploma, some of these schools also offer what's called pathway programs. So maybe your kid, by the time they get to high school, they know that they want to go into nursing, or they want to be a doctor, maybe they want to be a lawyer, or heck, maybe your kid is driven like mine and they want to be a business professional. They have business pathway programs, they have doctor programs, nurse programs, but specific programs that are going to take them through what it's like in those specific careers while they're in high school, which is awesome. So our daughter actually completed the business pathway program through Roseville Joint Union High School District. She took a ton of business classes in high school that are transferable to the college that she's going to be at next year. And then she also got to do a really fun internship opportunity through the city of Roseville, because the city of Roseville partners with the high school district out here to give opportunities for that. So again, there's so much opportunity for your kid, especially at the high school level. These are awesome schools. I'm speaking from experience. We've had 2 that have graduated from Roseville Joint Union High School District, and we have nothing but great things to say. So if your kid is interested in some of those things, I would definitely consider Roseville, because of the commitment to excellence that they have and how high their standards are. Now, drop a comment below. Are you comparing Roseville to somewhere else right now? Maybe Rocklin, Folsom, Elk Grove, El Dorado Hills. Are you considering this area because of the schools? Definitely let us know. Let us know what's pulling you towards this area so we can help narrow it down. We can help guide you. Maybe Roseville's not the right spot for you. Maybe Folsom's gonna make more sense, or maybe Elk Grove, but we can't help you if we don't know what you're looking for. We do read every single comment, so make sure you drop that comment down below. Now, what we're covering next is the part most people don't even think about when they're researching Roseville, and it's gonna be the lifestyle, what a typical week here actually looks like, because that's what determines whether this area is gonna work for you day to day, not just the listing, not just the house, but what your actual life would look like if you were living in Roseville, California. All right, one thing that gets people every single time is how much Roseville keeps them local. You plan one quick stop and then you realize 3 hours just happened. The Westfield Galleria is the region's premier retail destination center. People drive from all over Northern California for it. You've got Cinemark there, Round One, over 200 stores. And right next to it, you've got the fountains that gives you outdoor dining, shopping, and a completely different vibe with Zocalo, Yard House, Burger Lounge, Jack's, Whole Foods, Dave & Buster's, and plenty more.
The dining scene here is genuinely one of the strongest in the entire Sacramento regions, and I absolutely love it. Sienna Restaurant, Monk Cellar, they've all been Roseville staples for years. Nick's Tacos built a reputation well beyond Roseville, Rose Park Bistro, Moxa, and then you've got everyday spots that fill in the normal week. Nugget Market, if you know, you know. Trader Joe's, every coffee shop you'd want, fitness centers everywhere.
And healthcare is a big part of why people specifically choose Roseville. You've got Kaiser Permanente Roseville, which is right here. You have the main hospital. You also have Sutter Roseville Medical Center right here, which is going to be their main hospital in Roseville. It's a pretty large facility, has everything, all the specialties that you need. These are two of the largest healthcare providers in the entire region that are both in the same city. So if you don't have Kaiser, you'll be covered by Sutter. But for families with aging parents or anyone with special needs or anyone who wants serious medical close to home, that's not a small thing, and it's something that you can get right here in Roseville.
Now, one of the other favorite things that we absolutely love about Roseville is all of the things to do. So we're down here, Vernon Street, right in front of kind of the City Hall area. Tuesday night markets, you've got bands playing music on Tuesday nights, you've got vendors pop-ups, you got all the different restaurants. It's definitely one of the things that makes Roseville special. Right down here where we're at, you also have Wine Down Wednesdays that happens in the springtime, where you have 6 different wineries that come over 6 consecutive weeks. It's amazing. You get to try out some of the best locally owned Placer County wine that's home to this region. So tons of fun things to do. You've got Topgolf, you've got a water park, you've got the mall, you've got the fountains, you've got movie theaters. It's one of the most complete cities in the entire region.
All right, Roseville has a trail and park system that most people don't know about until they're actually here. You've got Mighty Regional Park, which is the main one, which is where I'm at right now. Now at Mighty Regional Park, there are so many things here. You've got the Mighty Museum, you've got playgrounds, you've got sports fields, you've got picnic areas, you've got a skate park. I think the skate park's over there behind me. You've got trail connections. You have a library here. You have a little outdoor fitness area here. You also have the old batting cages here, which are going to be getting turned into pickleball courts because the batting cages are no longer useful. So there's so many things here at Mighty Regional Park, which is one of the highlights of Roseville. But on top of that, this isn't the only park. You also have Mahaney Park, which is another really large park. And then you also have Harry Crab, which is another multi-use park with tons of things there and a splash pad and everything. So on top of that, there's also the Miners Ravine Trail, which is another one that residents absolutely love. Now, this is a paved multi-use trail that runs throughout Roseville and connects neighborhoods to parks and open spaces. And with the trail system, you can make it from East Roseville to Central Roseville, all the way over to West Roseville. Now, we also have Topgolf, which may sound like a minor thing until you're here and you see what it looks like on a Friday night. It's got multiple levels, food and drinks, an activity that works for literally any group. You can come here and hang out with your family, your friends. Different corporations will do events here. There's tons of things to do there. Then on top of that, you've got Golfland Sunsplash, which has been a Roseville institution for families for decades. We're talking a water park, mini golf, an arcade. You also have those little cars that you can drive around. There's so many things to do at Sunsplash. And now Sunsplash for us is a huge deal. Our kids in the summer absolutely love Sunsplash. We buy them a season pass every single summer. My 13-year-old, I swear, is there every other day with her friends. So it's really a big part of why people live here. There's so many things to do. It's a great way to cool off. And if you've got teenage kiddos, they love hanging out there. Now, youth sports out here are a whole thing, and on any given weekend, the parks and sports fields across Roseville are absolutely packed. Now, Roseville is one of those communities where the activity level kind of pulls you in whether you planned for it or not. So if you've got kids that are in sports, activities, or maybe you just want to find an area where you can do sports and activities, then this is definitely going to be the place for you. Roseville has everything, every sport you can possibly think of. Your kid can get involved here.
All right, here's the thing about Roseville that most people don't fully account for when they're researching it. The city isn't done growing. West Roseville is still actively building massive amounts of new construction homes. We're talking new communities, new parks, new school, new retail. You got the Baseline Marketplace that's over there off of Baseline and Fittyment. You're gonna have a Costco, a Raising Cane's, a Home Depot, a Target, 79 acres right there at Baseline. So tons of stuff. Costco's already there, but like I said, Target, Home Depot, Raising Cane's, all moving forward. The whole west side of Roseville is getting way more convenient than it was 2, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So, you know, everything kind of shifted over, like we talked about in the map, from like, you know, the Wood Creek Oaks Boulevard area over to the Fittyment area. So you got, you know, brand new grocery stores that are on the corner of you know, Blue Oaks Infidiment, Baseline Infidiment, and Pleasant Grove Infidiment. Then you got the north side of town, which is going to be Placer 1, and that's going to be a long-term project. We're talking 2,200 acres, all planned west of Highway 65, north of Roseville. It's almost going to be like its own zip code at this point, right? So you're going to have residential neighborhoods, business spaces, a university village that's going to be tied to Sacramento State and Sierra College. You're also going to have a water park or a wave park that's going to be out there. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to kind of really change the way people think about Roseville, Rocklin, and even Lincoln over the next decade. Now, here's the thing that we always tell people about Roseville growth. The city is big enough now that growth on the west side doesn't disrupt all your stuff over on the east side or even in central Roseville. Almost each of these sections operate in their own little sub-markets. You've got central Roseville, you've got east Roseville, and you've got west Roseville. You're going to have the new west Roseville, and you're going to have north Roseville. Now, the cool thing is all the other stuff that's in all the other sections of Roseville, you don't miss out on them just because you're in the west side versus the east side versus the central side. You're really going to have two different sets of camps. You're going to have the newer and still filling in, and you're going to have the established and mature. Both are Roseville. Both are their own different decisions. All right, now before we get to the pros and cons and whether or not Roseville is actually the right fit for you, if you're seriously looking at this area or you're trying to figure out where you actually want to land, please reach out. Don't try to do this on your own.
This is exactly what we do. We help people narrow it down, which side of town, which school boundary, which specific school based on what your kids like, which neighborhoods fit the commute and the lifestyle. So call us, text us, email us, scan the QR code, book that strategy call. Whether you're months out, years out, or moving fast, that conversation is always worth it. We promise that you're gonna get valuable information from it.
And if nothing else, it's gonna just make things a lot more clear. And sometimes, you know, Sacramento, Roseville, it might not be the right fit for you guys. So that's where that strategy session comes in. It's never a burden. We actually love hanging out with you guys, talking with you guys about your goals. All right, now jumping right into it, let's be straight up about the trade-offs because Roseville isn't perfect. We've lived here for about 10 to 12 years now, so there's a lot of things that we love about Roseville. There's also some things that we hate about Roseville, right? So right now, I will say it, summers are hot, and that's the Sacramento area in reality, but July and August, we're spending a lot of the time in the 90s. Some of those days like today, we're getting just a little bit over 100. Traffic on Galleria Boulevard, Douglas, and I-80 corridor can suck, especially on the weekends when the whole region seems to have the same idea about going to the mall. Or if you're dealing with a holiday season and everybody's going to the mall for Black Friday or just last minute Christmas shopping, that section of East Roseville Parkway and the Galleria can really be congested and it's not really that much fun. So a lot of parts of West Roseville are still starting to fill in. So if you're wanting everything complete from day one, make sure that you're in the right pocket of Roseville.
And Roseville is not a walkable city. You're gonna be getting in a car to accomplish most of your everyday errands and everything that you need to do. So if a walkable downtown or urban energy is what you're looking for, then Midtown Sacramento is probably gonna be your best answer, not Roseville, most likely not one of the suburbs. Now, we wanna be honest about that because that definitely matters. Now, Roseville does have a great trail system. There are places you can get out and go for walks, but it's not gonna be your main lifestyle.
All right, so who does Roseville really fit or who tends to really love Roseville? A lot of families, a lot of Bay Area transplants, people who want more space without having to leave California. We joke around, Sacramento's like the last city in California that people are moving to because they don't want to give up on California. So remote workers, Roseville's really good for retirees. I think it was named one of the top cities in the entire state, if not the entire country, for people who are wanting to retire. Anyone who wants convenience or a fully built out city with great healthcare, stronger schools, and a lifestyle that doesn't require you driving 45 minutes for everything. I joke around, I tell a lot of people, if your work does not take you out of Roseville, there's really not a reason to leave Roseville. You have all your restaurants, you have tons of things to do, you have your parks, your gyms, your trail systems, you have all of your specialty grocery stores, your traditional grocery stores. So unless you're having to commute downtown Sacramento for work, you really shouldn't have to leave Roseville too much.
And here's the thing we saved for the end. The part most people don't figure out until they've been here a while is Roseville holds its value. Not just financially, but that definitely matters, but the lifestyle holds its value here. People move here thinking it's just temporary, just until we figure out the next step. And then 5 years pass, the kids are at a great school, they've made a ton of friends, you found your community, the neighborhood has become real, and it just starts feeling like home. And then they stop looking for the next step because Roseville became the answer they weren't expecting.
Yeah, one of the other things that I absolutely love is like they're always like revitalizing or reinventing themselves. Like so that the old Maidu Park, there was some like old batting cages that we used to go to like 10 or 15 years ago. Super fun when we played slow pitch softball, but they're even like revitalizing those and they're like gonna take those out and put pickleball courts in, right? So that's the thing about Roseville, is it doesn't just dazzle you up front, but it also dazzles you along the way too. It definitely earns the right to be in the top, I would say, 2 or 3 cities that we feature a lot on this channel. They handcuffed you with your electricity costs. That's one of the reasons why I'll never leave, is I like to run my AC in the summertime when it's hot. But the more time you spend here, it also makes more sense. So most people who move here, they end up staying a lot longer than they originally planned. Sometimes people think Roseville could be just kind of like a stepping stone to the next retirement or stepping stone to the next journey after the kids graduate. And a lot of times this is convenience and everything, the access to medical, the access to healthcare. I know that's a lot of the reasons why a lot of retirees like it here, is because you're just super close to Sutter, you're super close to Kaiser. Kaiser has multiple outpatient centers throughout the city of Roseville, so it's just convenient in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we had a family specifically move here to the Roseville area from Oregon because the healthcare up there and the access to healthcare and getting into doctor's appointments was just too difficult for the stage of life that they were in. So they were retirees, you know, needing to get into doctor's appointments and not have to wait 30 or 60 days to get specifically what they needed. So they actually relocated down to California, specifically Roseville, because of the access to our healthcare and amenities. And one of the things that they've told us since they've been moved in and loving their life here is that everything in Roseville is so easy. So like we said, it doesn't really matter what stage of life you're in, Roseville has something to offer for everyone. So there it is, the real picture of Roseville, the different areas, what homes cost, the schools, the lifestyle, the dining scene, the parks and outdoor access, and what's still being built, and the honest trade-offs about Roseville. So hopefully by now you have a much clearer sense of whether this area is gonna fit your lifestyle.
So if you're thinking about making the move to Roseville, Sacramento, we'd love to help, whether you're coming from Bay Area, Southern California, out of state, out of country, or you're already local and you're planning your next move. Call us, text us, or send us an email. That QR code is going to be popping up where you can book your one-on-one strategy session. If that QR code's not working, again, just feel free to call us or text us. You know, we're real people on the other side of it. We help people sort through exactly the kind of decisions that you guys are thinking about making every single week.
And if you're not ready yet, that's totally okay too. Keep doing your research right here on the channel. The playlist on the screen right now breaks down every major community in the greater Sacramento region. You've got Folsom, Elk Grove, Rocklin, El Dorado Hills, Granite Bay, and more. So watch those next and see how Roseville stacks up against the cities most people put it up against.
See you on the next one, guys.